Our own wonderful human imaginations are God. So says Neville Goddard. But just because you think something doesn't necessarily mean when it comes to fruition, when that creation is made, when manifestation is delivered to you, it doesn't mean that you have to accept it. For the longest time, I thought, as a practitioner of the law of assumption and a student of Neville Goddard, I thought whatever it was that I created in my mind, when I would go to the end, feel it real, when it was created, it was almost as if I thought, well, I have to accept this now. I don't, and neither do you. If we create something that in the moment we want, that's wonderful, it's great. And when it is made real in our 3D world, once that creation is finished and delivered to us, if we don't want it anymore, we don't have to accept it. We can reject it. We can act as if it never happened. That's your right as a human God. So if you find yourself in creating something and it hasn't necessarily manifested yet, and you've changed your mind and you categorically don't want it anymore, or it's something that you don't desire anymore and it hasn't necessarily shown up, when it does show up, which it will, you don't have to accept it. You can just turn your head and you can reject it. Just like an unwanted piece of mail. Return to sender. I don't want this. Reject it. Don't sign for it. At the time that you created it in your mind, you did want it. But now that it's arrived, you don't want it. Maybe in that span of time, through the bridge of incidents, you got something better. Or you decided to create something better or greater. You don't have to accept it. There was a time in the past when all I wanted to do was to move to a particular major city. I had all of my plans ready. I wanted to move there so terribly, so badly, and for years I never could seem to get there. For reasons unknown, I couldn't figure out why I could never seem to make this move to this major city. So in 2016, as the bridge of incidents would have it, I not only found employment in the city I wanted to live in, I found a nice place to live there and secured housing there. I also received $5,000 in moving expense money from the company that had hired me. So everything seemed like it was a go. However, I just got this feeling and I said to myself, for many years, I've wanted to move here, but this just doesn't feel like the right move for me. So even though everything was delivered to my feet, I was actually hired over the phone. I never even interviewed in person. It was almost as if there was some type of push. All arrows were pointing that this was a go. At the last minute, I just said to myself, this doesn't feel right, and I don't want to do it. So I turned my back and I walked away. Now, shortly after that, I thought to myself, this is all I've ever wanted for several years, so why would I get this close and everything be basically laid in front of me? Employment, place to live, moving expenses, and I'm just going to walk away from it. But it felt like the right thing for me to do, so I didn't go, and I didn't feel bad about it. Another example of this is with a specific person. In 2014, I'd met this person, I really liked them, I wanted to be with them, and I knew them for about 5 or 6 months. There was nothing more I wanted during the summer of 2014 but to be with this specific person. This person even lived with me for about 3 months. It was a very contentious kind of, I don't even want to call it a relationship. It was a contentious situation, which was really tumultuous, to say the least. So it turns out I had to kick this person out of my house, and I wanted nothing more to do with them, and the situation between us was pretty contentious. We really didn't like each other, and I specifically didn't like this person. However, years later in 2017, this person messaged me on a dating app and said, I'm sorry for being such an a-hole and being a bad person. You're a really nice guy, and I would really like to try to patch things up and get together and work things out. And I thought to myself, does this person know that I have contempt for them at this point? If this person and I were the last two people on earth, mankind would end with us. That is how strongly I negatively feel about them. So at that point in 2017, I just laughed it off until it happened again in 2019 and again in 2021 and again in 2022. This person keeps contacting me. This is a specific person. It's so funny because at a period, all I wanted was to be with this person. And now all I want is to get away from them and stay away from them and never have them contact me again. I guess the moral of this story is we need to truly analyze what it is that we imagine before it arrives to us, because a lot of times you don't want it anymore. In the case of this specific person, I truly don't want this, and I don't want to be contacted by this person. However, they keep contacting me. It's almost as if they just refuse to go away. And I have to understand and accept that I created this, because I think about how strongly and how much I wanted to be with this person. And now I think about how strongly I don't want to be with them. However, they're still here. And this person lives on the same outskirt of the major city that I live in. So I've actually seen them, like at the grocery store. When I see this person, I am incensed because, let's just be honest, I can't stand them. However, I keep running into them and they keep contacting me. Moral of the story is be careful about what it is that you think and you feel, that you want and that you create, because a lot of times you don't want it anymore. And it seems like sometimes it can be hell making certain things go away. I want to thank you guys for listening. Thank you so much for all of your love and support. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. And until next time, bye everybody.